Hello and welcome. My name is Joshua Clinton. Today's speech is going to be titled The Right Thing to Do. This speech is part of my Contemporary Issues in Strategic Communication course at Troy University. Moving into the overview, today we're going to go through the introduction, the problem, tobacco usage, CVS versus its competitors, the CVS marketing and communication, as well as the impact and conclusion, as well as my final thoughts. So, what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about the case study titled Is CVS Just Blowing Smoke by Ward et al. 2016. This case study is evaluating the CVS decision and marketing um, to no longer sell tobacco products. The case study was published in 2016, and the decision that is going to be evaluated today was made in 2014. So as we continue through this brief, just think back to your time in 2014 and how you were using social media and other means of communication. The problem. In 2014, Consumer Value Stores, also known as CVS, changed their name to CVS Health and then stopped selling tobacco products. This ultimately caused an estimated total of $2 billion in revenue. And this decision was made by the CEO to realign the CVS with their mission. So, problem one, smoking has always been a contributing cause to cancer. And then that goes into problem two. CVS mission statement directly conflicts with the selling of tobacco. So, promising to make people healthy and also selling them something that causes cancer is kind of contradictory there. And so, that was their second problem. Tobacco was a large source of revenue. So, making this decision to be healthy also caused the organization with revenue loss. Tobacco usage in 2015, approximately 40 million Americans smoked. However, the number of smokers was on the decline from 20.9% in 2005 to 16.8% in 2014. Even with this decline, the U.S. still had more than 16 million citizens suffering from a smoking-related disease, with smoking being the number one cause of preventable disease and deaths. And that is from the CDC prevention website in 2015. CVS versus its competitors. So, looking here, we have different competitors all in the pharmacy market. Starting with CVS, they decided to stop selling tobacco products, pretty much cold turkey, not giving the consumers or customers a lot of time to deal with the sudden stop of tobacco sales. This ended up leaving some customers unsatisfied and choosing their competitors. CVS also launched an idea to punish other pharmacies by charging for more medications purchased at pharmacies that sell tobacco. So not only are they no longer selling tobacco, but they are also charging you if you use other pharmacies that do sell tobacco. Costco is kind of in the middle between the two. They decided to stop selling tobacco, but they did it slowly over time, and that is from Is Costco following 2016. And then on the other end of the spectrum, Walgreens, they had no intent on its sales of tobacco. So here we can see three different pharmacies all competing for a place in the market and how they are approaching this issue of tobacco. Getting into the CVS communication and how they went on to market this idea, we got four big things on the strategic communication plan: the why, the who, the how, and the message being shared. Starting with the why, their current actions were not consistent with their values. Their mission statement is listed here: helping people on their path to better health, from CVS Health, 2016, paragraph 1. So as you can see, this was one of the leading causes on their decision to stop selling tobacco, is that they did not feel like it was consistent to help people on their path to better health. The who, their stakeholders that they have decided to communicate to was the youth of the time. The ultimate goal of the campaign was to make today's youth the first tobacco-free generation. And again, that was from Ward et al.'s case study. The how, CVS mostly did all of their marketing or communication via social media, primarily on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. as well as some sports media teaming up with a Major League Soccer team that promoted the Be the First hashtag. Going a little further into the social media, on Facebook and Twitter, CVS actually made separate accounts called CVS in the community to reach out to the communities about tobacco usage. YouTube, however, they maintained their primary organizational YouTube and promoted their information on there. The message being promoted was the hashtag Be the First campaign. CVS spent about $50 million in about 5 years promoting this campaign with the hashtag Be the First. And this was to be the first to stop smoking, be the first to not pick up smoking, just overall making the communities healthier by stopping the tobacco usage. However, there's a big issue with the Be the First hashtag. At the time it was released, there wasn't it wasn't synonymous with CVS. It was used for many other things at the time, that hashtag specifically. So it kind of got lost in the mass of social media. CVS Health was actively participating in many different causes as well. They had a lot of other ways promoting health, not specifically related to tobacco. And through the case study, this made it seem like people were just disregarding this campaign because there were so many other campaigns happening at the same time. Kind of got lost in the sauce, if you will. And then the CEO also talked about other ways to make the people healthy, looking at the food that they're selling, the drinks that they're selling, and everything else inside the pharmacy overall, just making it a healthier place for their consumers. Now, what this is kind of detracts away from the primary focus of the Be the First campaign when we're talking about different campaigns happening at the same time, different ways to make people healthy, all in the same store. You kind of get lost on what the primary goal is here. The impact revenue declined 6.1% in the first quarter following the ban, resulting in a 1.3 drop in retail operating profit from Campbell 2015. In 2015, the revenues grew to 6.2% for CVL's retail long-term care pharmacies. As you can see here, it pretty much evens out. It's hard to gauge the actual impact that the ban of tobacco products had. Obviously, initially it was a pretty big drop in revenue, but however, it kind of evened out over time. The conclusion from Ward et al. Eliminating tobacco products in CVS stores had little to do with either profit margin or brand image. In addition, the effectiveness of the CVS social media campaign's success was undetermined. I want to stop here and point out the importance that it holds to determine the success of a social media campaign. You need to learn either from your mistakes or from what went well, and leaving it undetermined is not allowing the organization to make a better path forward to make changes in their social media campaigns. So we really lost a lot here by not showing a lot with the profit margins, the brand image, or the success of their social media campaign. Kind of just a wash overall. However, they ended the end of the study with the actions taken by the CVS Health CEO, Larry Merlo, in 2014, and he just mentioned that this is the right thing to do. I think that's an important part. Moving into my final thoughts. As a up-and-coming communication professional, I would like to give you my feedback on this study, knowing that looking back is always 2020. Hindsight is 2020. So really, one thing that stuck out to me was the brand image here. This brand promised to help you on your path to be healthy again. And I think it is important that they stuck to their mission statement, proving that they care more about their consumers than their possible profit from tobacco sales. I think that's huge. Earned my respect personally. I like seeing CEOs step out, put the people first before they put money first. The stakeholders here, I thought it was interesting that they decided to focus on the youth of America at the time. In 2014, I was in high school, and I can tell you on all of my social media platforms, I did not follow any pharmacies whatsoever. And I think that most people in high school at that time would say the same. So instead of focusing on the youth, maybe focus on primary stakeholders within the company, adults, maybe previously or continuing smokers, help those stakeholders as well as the parents here. Communicate to the parents so the parents can communicate to their children about the dangers of smoking. But since they did go with the Youth of America, I wanted to discuss the communication channels that were used. We see that primarily the communication channels were all on social media with a little bit of sports media as well. As previously mentioned, I don't think there was many high schoolers at the time that were following pharmacies on its social media. So I think some of the communication channels that could have been more useful and more helpful in this campaign was television. For example, everyone was watching TV, family nights on the couch watching TV. Just a commercial. I still remember a lot of commercials from my time in high school that made an impact on me, and I think this could have been a useful communication channel for them. This concludes my speech. Thank you for listening. Again, I was Joshua Clinton, a graduate student at Troy University. These are the references used during the speech. Thank you for your time.